Tonight on CTV News, the government says plans are in place to support drought-affected farmers. What's the reality of being able to extend paid parental leave? 3 new housing units unveiled today as part of the council's social housing program.
Broadcasting across Canterbury. From the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News, streaming live every night at ctv.co.nz. Well, Christchurch could be New Zealand's first smoke-free city. That's if the Christchurch City Council adopts plans to ban the habit in the CBD. Chelsea Daniels reports.
The momentum to make Christchurch New Zealand's first smoke-free city is in full swing, with the Mayor and councillors attending a smoke-free seminar. Christchurch City Council has shown support for the initiative in the past, and Councillor Glenn Livingston couldn't be happier with the direction the city's taking.
I thought it was tremendous. What we had was a lot of good, solid, hard data, and it shows a definite, preference for moving towards eventually smoke-free outdoor dining in our cities. Given time, I think it's the momentum's there, and people are starting to see that rather than affecting business, it will actually have negatively, it will have a positive effect.
The seminar's key speaker, Melbourne City Councillor Richard Foster, spoke about the success of living in a smoke-free city.
Well, the seminar was fantastic. We had a visitor, Richard Foster from Melbourne, who came over and told his story of how the council there has been very proactive in making Melbourne a more livable city, and how consistent being a smoke-free city is with being a livable city.
Stone is a part of the National Smoke-Free Coalition, which started their smoke-free vision in 2007.
So what the National Smoke-Free Working Group has done is created a smoke-free national action plan, and these are the evidence-based measures that would have to be in a government strategy. We're left advocating for those pending a government strategy with them already in it.
Since then, the coalition has been taking radical steps to ensure no one forgets about the government's promise for a smoke-free country by 2025.
In 2011, the government committed to making the nation a smoke-free nation by 2025. That was in response to an inquiry held by the Maori Affairs Select Committee. And at that inquiry, we had been very successful then in conveying a vision, sharing a vision for a smoke-free nation.
And she says there's nothing but benefits from quitting smoking.
5,000 New Zealanders might die every year because of tobacco. That's 1 in every 2 people who smoke. So that's the best reason you've got to quit. And so I was saying to the sector just yesterday, by 2025, that's 50,000 lives on the line.
According to the 2013 census, about 13.5% of Christchurch's population are regular smokers. So, is Christchurch able to be New Zealand's first smoke-free city?
I challenge Christchurch to do just that. You've got a great network of tobacco control health promoters. They network so well. They're building and fostering relationships with local government members. I just say seize the opportunity and network with them, champion this cause, support the smokers around you, the people around you in your family and workplace. They all want to quit. And when it's time, they'll need help, they'll need support.
And with Stoptober just 8 days away, this could be the chance that Cantab smokers have been waiting for.
All it takes is for every person who smokes right now to quit 1st of October during Stoptober. Just stay smoke-free. Let's mass quit altogether in October.
Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
It's been a hot topic in Parliament and has got the go-ahead for public consultation, but what's the reality of it actually happening? We're talking about extending paid parental leave. Here's Chelsea Daniels.
The push to extend paid parental leave to 26 weeks is still on, with the bill passing its first hurdle through Parliament. The bill passed through Parliament with just 1 vote, totalling 61 votes in favour of the change.
This is my second attempt at it. Last time the government also opposed it, but despite their opposition to it, we basically forced them into a position of extending paid parental leave to 18 weeks. So when I started on this proposal, we had paid parental leave of 14 weeks. Next year we go to 18 weeks paid parental leave, so that's already a victory in itself. But look, that's been a political response from the government, but if they were to take a research and evidence-based approach, then they would also support the 26 weeks.
She says it's all a matter of finance, which isn't as bad as the government claims it to be.
Last time I took this to Select Committee, we got cross-party agreement that it costs, for every sort of additional 4 weeks that you bring in, it costs roughly around about $45 million. And then what we agreed is that, and just in short-term cost savings alone, that we will be saving at least $28 million. So, you know, the short-term benefits alone are just about enough to cover the cost of it, let alone the long-term savings, which is where the benefits are really to be had.
And she says there's definitely money to spare.
They are spending money on all measure of other things that are less important, like, you know, millions of dollars on a flag referendum where no one's even interested enough to turn up to the meetings. So it's not a matter of not having the funding, it's just that it's a very low priority for the government, and I think that the public are keen to see the government lift its priority when it comes to supporting families and children.
Amongst the pool of supportive organisations is the New Zealand Breastfeeding Authority, run by Executive Officer Julie Stuffkins, right here in Christchurch.
One of the organisations that is very involved in the 26 for Babies Coalition is the Breastfeeding Authority, and that has a very strong base in Christchurch.
And Julie couldn't be more supportive.
There's been quite a few international studies about paid parental leave and the impact, and the most recent one was done in Australia, looking at what impact their increase to paid parental leave had, and they showed small but significant improvement in child health, infant health, and they said that there was also a bit of an alignment with increased immunisation.
And it's not only beneficial for the health of the child.
There's quite a lot of evidence to show that it does also impact for maternal mental health and maternal physical well-being. So what this is about is actually allowing women to be able to choose.
Stuffkins agrees with Moroney when she said the money argument should be the last thing on the government's mind.
I still think that when we look at the benefits, that the costs aren't going to be as high as they're being portrayed.
There will be a submissions process and consultation with the public regarding the change.
There'll be a full Select Committee process. That means that the public has the right to have their say and put submissions forward on the bill. Last time the bill drew just under 4,000 submissions, and 99.6% of whom were in favour of the bill. So it has huge public support. It's got parliamentary majority support, and it's just the government standing in the way now.
A select committee is to meet this week to make a decision on how to handle the submissions process. Moroney is anticipating the submissions to be closed sometime during November. Chelsea Daniels, CTV News.
The government says plans are in place to support drought-affected farmers in North Canterbury. Reporter Jared McCulloch has the latest.
It's been a struggle for drought-affected farmers this year, now with warmer weather beginning to heat up throughout Canterbury. Many have felt the impacts, especially in the north of the region.
I think the support efforts have been filling the gap that's required. I'm unaware of any further need other than for rain to fall, warm rain to fall, and for kind lambing conditions. But that's out of government's control. You know, the farmers really do care about their stock and they want to see them in their best condition, and that's top of their mind. So I'm very comfortable with what's been done to date, and I think farmers have actually really coped very well.
Central Government gave an extra $20,000 earlier in the year to help struggling farmers, allocating the money to the North Canterbury Rural Support Trust.
They've run some really good seminars. Blake Archibald's heading that, and it's the Drought Committee is headed by Winton Daly, the Hurunui Mayor, and they're right on top of the situation.
But he says other organisations helping with depression is important, with more coming on board to help farmers through tough times.
What we're trying to keep on top of is the mental health issues and coordinate efforts to sort out things like feed allocating feed that has been given in the past has been done by the Drought Committee and forwarded to the people that are most in need. Farmers have done a very good job, and it's been great to see people like the North Canterbury vets step up and get in and aid those people.
A concern has also been the change in weather, with El Nino affecting much of the Pacific.
It's just one factor that can influence what we experience every day in our weather, but climate is over a season. It's really about averages, and averages are made up of highs and lows. And so just because there's an El Nino this year doesn't necessarily mean the East Coast will be dry. It's likely that it will be, but it's not a certainty.
Moves are well underway in other parts to provide better water and irrigation systems, $28 million in total throughout the country. But he says it's likely government will continue to support when needed.
There's funding in place anyway to continue through to next year, and I think that these things are assessed on a regular basis, and if there's a need, I'm sure that the funding will be available.
Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
And still to come here on CTV News, the weather forecast. And welcome back to CTV News, live streaming at ctv.co.nz. All 3 new units were unveiled today as part of the Council's social housing program, as Jared McCulloch reports.
Another step forward for social housing in Christchurch.
We were sitting here on a bare building site with a digger in place, having photos taken, having done the sod turning to celebrate the start of the construction project. Here we are today with 3 fantastic new units completed and ready for tenants to move into in the next couple of weeks.
These new units were opened in St Albans today. It's been a big year for the Christchurch City Council and its housing portfolio, with many new social units being repaired and replaced.
We are progressing, we are improving, and we are adding to social housing in Christchurch. We had over 2,600 units, and then of course with the quake we had a lot of closures and a lot of housing units that were significantly damaged, and now gradually we are rebuilding and we're repairing those that have been damaged.
These new properties are part of 41 new units under construction currently throughout the city, replacing 113 of the council's housing lost in the red zone after the earthquakes. The 3 units add to 12 already on the site.
As we've been repairing and tenants have been moving back in, they're re-establishing in their communities, and we're getting a sense of going forward.
A Māori blessing started the proceedings where the new tenants will soon make home. The modern units will help cater for the shortage of social housing after the quakes, with many being put into temporary accommodation while buildings are fixed up and built.
These will be people moving into these units permanently, elderly tenants. We've got units here that are fit for purpose, they're insulated, they're going to be warm and cosy for those people, and we've got wet rooms as bathrooms, fully accessible, and we've even got charging points for mobility scooters with each unit as well.
Turner says they're well on track to have their next houses open soon.
We're ahead of target in terms of providing the number of open units that we're needing to provide for the figures in the long-term plan. We've got a number of complexes exactly like these that will be opening between now and the end of the financial year in line with that target of 41 new units. So we're either on target or in some ways ahead of target for exactly what we said we were going to do to recover from the earthquakes.
But for now, there'll be a short wait for tenants expected to move in next month. Jared McCulloch, CTV News.
Police swarmed on a house in Yoldhurst today. About 6 police cars could be seen down Ballina Place about midday. Police won't say what the nature of the incident was, but it's understood a suicide threat was made. Well, do you have a bit of stubble that you wear to work, if you do wear it to work? Well, that could have a negative impact in your working environment, apparently. Well, that's the case for one local Christchurch man who was suspended from work for not having a shave. Here's Gordon Finlater.
This is Culain Chandre Walsh, and like me, he has a beard. Walsh works as a delivery man, but for the last 11 days, he's been suspended from work. Why? Because of his beard. So I thought we'd do something manly men with beards do and had a chat about his situation over a game of pool.
Yeah, well, I was initially told that the facial hair wasn't acceptable and that I had to shave, and so I ignored it for a couple of days, and then once that case came about, on the next Monday I turned up at work, I was asked to shave. I was approached with a bit of shaving foam and a razor, and I declined that, and straight after that I had a meeting at the lunchtime, which went for about 45 minutes to an hour, chipped into most of my day, and I was told I had a disciplinary meeting on the Friday saying that could lead to a written warning, but ended up being suspended.
Now, I can understand working with food, for example, how facial hair may impact your work. So how does Walsh's beard affect his position?
You wouldn't think it would affect the service whatsoever. I mean, our main key is to obviously keep everything secure in a truck. Beards never had anything to do with that. When they come off the truck, it's on a tail lift, and then going into the customer's house, the main thing, of course, is getting through that doorway without damaging it. So I don't understand how this has ever popped in the way by any means whatsoever.
Walsh was originally given a suspension without pay from Smith City. After doing some research of his own, though, he discovered he couldn't be suspended without pay unless he was under disciplinary action from the police or the firm.
I texted my boss with the information saying that I knew that I shouldn't be suspended without pay. He said that wasn't his issue to deal with, and I was to get in touch with the HR people. I didn't seek any advice from those guys. Instead, I went to the press. And then with the press, what they did is did a full article, got in touch with my boss, and as soon as the CEO was contacted, the press had the article cancelled, and my work contacted me and told me that I'll be getting full pay.
All smells a bit fishy to me. After making a phone call to Smith City's HR, I was told they would not be making any comment. All I wanted to know, though, like Walsh, was how a bit of facial hair warrants a suspension. According to Walsh, he's never had any comments about his beard from clients.
I've had nothing mentioned about the beard. The main thing that gets mentioned is my height and the smile that I wear throughout the day.
So, what was the motivation behind the beard?
Well, there's a couple of reasons behind it. Initially, my girlfriend said that she enjoyed the stubble, so I thought, got to keep the other half happy. Another reason behind it, I really don't enjoy getting the old ingrown hairs, as many people would understand that. And number three, I wanted to build a little bit of confidence, funnily enough, in the old white whiskers. So that's a couple of reasons behind it there.
Well, Culane seems pretty stoked about his beard. He is hoping he can convince his employer that the beard should stay as well. Walsh is due to have another meeting tomorrow where he's hopeful a solution can be found to get him back to work. Gordon Findlater, CTV News.
Still to come here on CTV News, some local rugby news and the region's weather forecast. Welcome back to CTV News. It's an exciting week for rugby fans in Christchurch with 2 Canterbury home games in the space of just 5 days. Gordon Findlater reports.
It's a short turnaround for the men in red and black who defeated North Harbour on the road just 2 days ago. Canterbury came away with their 6th win on the trot in what was a scrappy match. The coach knows there's plenty of room for improvement.
Again, we had so many opportunities and we just weren't ruthless enough in a way in execution to put North Harbour away early, and they just stayed in it, and it's probably a little bit of a reflection of the season not being able to finish off things that we create. But because we're creating and there's opportunities, it's great, so we just got to be really tough on ourselves and make sure we make opportunities count.
Many regulars are set to get a rest tomorrow, and with 3 games in the space of just a week, the string of fixtures is sure to go a long way to determining Canterbury's playoff picture.
Oh, hugely important. We're well aware of making sure we keep the bodies fresh enough coming into the finals. Having this, we're one of the latest teams to have that 3 in a week, and you've got to manage it. We've already got a lot of numbers and minutes under our players, in their legs, and the tank's pretty full. But you just got to be wary that we've got some decent opponents in the next 2 weeks.
Wednesday night's opposition Waikato are sure to be up for the match, coming off a hiding at the hands of Taranaki.
They'll be hurting. It's tough to look at a scoreboard like that, and they're too proud of province to lie down after something like that. So we're well aware of how they'll be feeling.
Tomorrow night will also be a special moment for one established Cantab making the trip overseas at the end of the year. Tom Taylor has been given the honour of captain's armband in somewhat of a parting gift.
Yeah, it was a bit like that. I was just really excited to lead the boys. It's it's a pretty special honour. I've been happy enough just being vice captain to Luke. But yeah, to get that, it's just a real privilege for me. So certainly something I'll look back on.
Coach Scott Robertson was full of praise for his new captain, delighted to give him the news this week.
Tom Taylor's been phenomenal for us. He's a quality bloke. He's going to be sorely missed, and he's giving everything to this campaign. Look, he's been world class in everything he does, and it's a great opportunity. He was really pleased and thankful when he was given the opportunity to captain. He had a big smile on his face, so yeah, it's a pleasure.
And although Wednesday night's captain was still feeling the pinch, he'll be raring to go come tomorrow night.
Yeah, my body's feeling all right, but my legs are a little bit sore today, so we're just recovering up, and I'm sure the boys will be raring to go by Wednesday though.
And Wednesday's game against Waikato kicks off at 7:35 from AMI Stadium. Gordon Findlater, CTV Sport.
Yes. And Mercy standing by next with the region's weather forecast.
Good evening, Canterbury. Well, today we saw cloudy skies with drizzle in the afternoon. We are expecting a few steady rain showers this evening for some. Today's highs 11 degrees for you, Timaru, and 9 there for Geraldine, Temuka and you, Twizel. Central Canterbury, 8 degrees was shared by Christchurch, Darfield and Methven today. A little bit warmer for Akaroa and Leeson on 9 degrees and 10 there for you, Ashburton. Heading further north, 7 degrees was shared by Kaikoura and Oxford. 8 degrees though for Colvard, Cheviot and Rangiora, 9 there for you, Amberley, and a chilly 5 degrees for Hanna Springs. Over to the Alpine region, 9 degrees for Arthur's Pass and Mount Cook today. Now tomorrow is looking a little bit dreary and bleak. Timaru, showers for you and easterly winds, cloudy skies and 12 degrees for your high. Ashburton, get your wet weather gear out as well. Could be a soggy Wednesday in store. 12 degrees is also your expected high, but 7 for your morning start, so quite a mild one there. Christchurch, we could be expecting some heavy falls during the day, so make sure we're prepared for these. Our high is looking like 10 degrees. And Kaikoura could be some heavy falls in the mix as well. 8 degrees for your high with a few southeasterly winds breezing on through. Cloudy skies and rain for the rest of the Canterbury region as well. South Canterbury, expect these easterly winds prevailing. 12 degrees for the high for you, Waimate. Central Canterbury, also those easterlies present for your Wednesday. 11 degrees is the high for Akaroa and Leeston. Showers for everyone here with cloudy skies. Heading further north, also seeing lots of cloudy skies and rainfalls. Could be heavy there for Cheviot and Hanna Springs. Hanna Springs might also see some snow above the 1,000 metre mark and just 7 degrees for your high. Over to the Alpine region, Arthur's Pass, actually the sunniest, driest place to be on 11 degrees tomorrow. The upcoming days, Thursday also looking a little dreary and bleak. 12 degrees is the high though for Timaru and 13 for Christchurch, so it could be quite a humid day. We are seeing those showers coming through with cloudy skies still though. Friday, sunny breaks for you, Timaru and Ashburton. Still the occasional shower though for Christchurch and Kaikoura with cloudy skies and easterly winds for almost everyone. Looking to Thursday for the rest of the Canterbury region, those easterly winds really prevailing. Cloudy skies and rain coming through for most of the day on Thursday. Flipping over to Friday, we are seeing a few sunny spells, particularly for South Canterbury. As we head further north, the odd shower coming through here and there with cloudy skies and easterly winds turning southerly in the evening. So the next coming days, we are expecting that rain to be pushing through tomorrow, so watch the roads, they could be quite wet and slippery. However, amongst all this bad weather over the next few days, we are expecting a little bit of sunshine to come our way over the weekend. And that's your weather update for Tuesday.
Did you say sunshine? Good. And that is CTV News for Tuesday. Have a good evening.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.